We are just a week before the presidential election, but more importantly, my book is on sale today. It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. You can get it at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, BooksAMillion.com, Borders.com, all the major booksellers. Because whatever happens in the election in 1 week, as I've said over and over again, it will not determine the future of this country. We are on a continual downward slide of ethics, morality, a respect for God. God perhaps is retaliating against us as we speak. We're on the edge of losing control of our capitalist society, of our republic, of our freedoms. And clearly, if the brain-dead zombie Joe Biden and his evil and hateful witch Kamala Harris are elected, this country will go even on a faster downward slide. But in 1 week, if the president is reelected, that is President Trump, we're going to see massive violence in the streets, massive. And not just in the streets, into your neighborhoods, on your lawns, vandalism of your home, perhaps demanding the keys to your house and your car, potentially harming, if not killing, your family. That's going to happen. These leftists are vicious. They hold no bars. You've got radicals of every conceivable group: radical blacks, radicals of the Jewish left, radical Muslims, radical feminists, radical atheists, radicals everywhere. They want to destroy the country. They want to take it down to ground zero. And then, if they take control, they will start fighting with each other, just like the white and red Russians did after the Bolshevik Revolution. We are in a Bolshevik revolution. We, however, need to fight a counter-revolution. And that's what my book is all about. It's dedicated to Thomas Jefferson, who said that within 20 years, and he was saying every 20 years, the country would have to shed the blood of patriots again to preserve liberty. He understood that. I'm not advocating shedding blood, but Jefferson obviously believed it was necessary. And he put the primary blame on the third branch of government, on the judicial branch of government, the federal judiciary, who he said, because they would be unelected, would become despots. They would become tyrants. They would not be accountable to the people. And that has happened today. And I discussed that in my book, It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry. So I have concrete solutions to peacefully and legally wage the second American Revolution. We cannot lose time. You're going to have to turn off cable news. You're going to have to stop being addicted to Hannity and the other shows. You're going to have to join groups like Freedom Watch and take action. Just in the last few days, we know that the COVID-19 pandemic, according to statistics, if they're true or not, I don't know, but it's getting worse. And yet, the communist Chinese are getting a get-off free pass from the government, from all aspects of the government, from establishment Democrats to establishment Republicans to President Trump himself. And that is why we brought a class action lawsuit in Dallas, Texas, to recover the damage that the Chi-Coms have caused. It's why Freedom Watch was the first to bring a class action with regard to the social media companies who have been discriminating against conservatives, people of faith, and others. So we can't educate the American people. One of the biggest problems is that our youth is either poorly educated or they've been indoctrinated in socialism and communism. Jewish students that go to university these days even are taught to become anti-Semites against themselves. It sounds like a Woody Allen movie, but it's true. They favor the Palestinians over the state of Israel. They like to see the state of Israel annihilated, frankly, because it's a, quote, an apartheid state. This is what we're dealing with today. And it's why my book, It Takes a Revolution, is so unique. It's not like the Sean Hannity, which says, here's my monologue, Democrats are going to throw Granny over the cliff, vote for Donald Trump, all will be solved. It's not like the book of Tom Fitton that came out recently, assuming he wrote it, which we don't know. His first book was ghostwritten by Ben Shapiro. But that simply says at the end, it goes through the horror stories of the last 4 years and says, support Judicial Watch. That's not enough. What we have to do is rise up ourselves as we did in 1776. We have to take the legal system into our own hands, just like our founding fathers did. That's why I suggest citizens' grand juries and other means to reclaim control of our country. Simply putting Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court is not going to do anything. We also have Chief Justice John Roberts, who's flipped to become a liberal. He's a closet gay. That's probably what he is, and he's scared of being outed. Okay, nobody cares anymore, but of that generation, they care. I don't know what else they've got on them, and we know the deep state has stuff on everybody, and that's why nothing happens. That's why our Attorney General is a worthless blowhard. I call him Blowhard Bill or Puxatani Bill, like the groundhog in Pennsylvania that goes back into his hole nearly every February 2nd. No indictments of Comey, no indictments of the McCabe's, no indictments of Bruce Orr, no indictments of Clapper, no indictments of Brennan. And of course, the Obamas, the Clintons, and the Bidens are off limits. Nothing will happen. Our legal system is non-existent. I got to tell you, as a lawyer of 44 years, the legal profession is the most corrupt profession of any profession in this country. It's corrupt to the core from the judges on down. And that is why we have to rise up ourselves. And we have to fight a second American revolution peacefully. But we need to indict criminals. We need to hold them accountable. We need to try them. We need to sentence them. And yes, my book discusses that citizens' arrests are legal. We will attempt to do it peacefully and legally. And that is why, and I want you to see the other suggestions that are made in my book. Well, I've also suggested that we move our capital from Washington, D.C. back to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, squeeze the leftists out of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, where I was born, where I'm proud to have been born, and form our own government by and for the people. It's time that we form our own government, and we can do it. We have the right to do it. Read the Declaration of Independence, see what our founding fathers said, and then read, "It Takes a Revolution, Forget the Scandal Industry." You can buy it at Amazon.com, all major booksellers, and we need to rise up right now and get prepared for next Tuesday, when all heck's going to break loose, particularly if the president wins re-election. And I pray that he does personally, and I will vote for him personally. That's what I say. Can't say it as a head of a public interest group, but I can say it personally. I support him, and I've been supporting him. And we've been in fact his law firm for many years. But now is the time to try men's souls. Now is not the time for the summer patriot or the sunshine soldier. Now is the time to do something and stop being entertained. So turn off Fox News and get to work. And also, we have a new group called americassheriff.org. Go to americassheriff.org, 2 S's in the middle, because we're going to need to protect our police. We need our police. And Sheriff Joe Arpaio and I formed this group. And another director is Dimitri Penny, the brave African-American policeman who brought cases against Black Lives Matter, Farrakhan, Nation of Islam, Sharpton, and others in Dallas, Texas, after the massacre a few years ago. We need brave patriots. So get my book and see how we're going to do it, because we've got to do it. It takes a revolution. Forget the scandal industry. If we don't do it, in short order, we will no longer have a country. And God is behind us if we act ourselves. If we do nothing, he will let the United States go the way of other failed and destroyed civilizations. That's my message for today. It's a message of optimism and hope, but only if we rise up. So God bless you. God bless your family. God save your family. God is with us. Thank you for listening to me. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of our special podcast, Special Prosecutor with Larry Klayman. Until then.
I enroll because we can't afford not to be covered.
Whatever your reason for needing health insurance, Nevada HealthLink is here for you. Enrollment starts November 1st at NevadaHealthLink.com.